Welcome to Jets Rewind. I'm Marty Schupak. I'm joined by my very close friend of years. Ralph, how many years is it?
Centuries.
Centuries. Ralph Schrager. I think we were 8 years old. And we've been
Nine.
nine Jet fans ever
Who's
since.
counting? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
I'm in Valley Cottage and Ralph's in Belmont, Mass.
1963.
Yeah, outside of Boston. As everyone was watching this week, the Ken Burns special on the Revolution. A lot took place right around where Ralph lives. But
I
anyway,
can still hear the shooting actually.
yes, yes. But anyway, Ray Clifford will be here in a couple of minutes. He's leaving the bar around Columbus. They had another good showing. As the Jets lose 23-10. What's interesting, Ralph, is that, well, actually,
Marty, I turned the game off when they gave up the ball deep. Why did he kick a field goal?
who's this?
Baltimore, did they kick a field goal in the last few seconds of the game?
I think they did. Yeah.
Why did they do that?
They and the Jets, you turned it off. The Jets kept calling timeout. It's
Yeah.
funny, at that point I was switching to the Giant game. I saw another coach made one of the most horrible decisions I ever saw, Kafka, who will not be the Giants coach next year. That topped the decision by our coach, Aaron Glenn, who I guess we had the ball on our own, was it 42-yard line?
Yeah, right in the 40s, yeah.
And he decides to go on fourth down.
It was fourth and two, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, our we have an inept offense, which is only slightly better with Tyrod Taylor in there. The Jets lose 23-10, which was interesting, Ralph. And we don't bet, but the spread at the beginning of the week was 14 and a half. And I heard one host in,
Oh, that's why he kicked the field goal.
I heard one host,
No
no,
shit.
wait. I heard one host say that place your bets because the Jets might not play. What's his name? Our other quarterback, Justin
Fields.
Fields. So he was right. As soon as they announced Tyrod Taylor went down to 13 and a half, and they still, the Jets covered though. So 23-10. But Ralph, my opinion is this. With the Jets offense, I think they're probably playing as well as they could be playing. I mean, they're a little bit better with Tyrod Taylor, who cannot throw a long pass to save his life. He sees the field better. He checks down a lot better. Just so you know, and I was going to wait for Ray, but SNY with the Jets post game and the pregame show, Connor Rogers did a film. They were showing film on a big screen, and it's amazing with Justin Fields how many players were left wide open that he missed. He just cannot play the position. Tyrod Taylor, who's been around a very, very long time, uh, he came in. He did okay, but look, we only got 10 points, so you can't say that our offense was, really like a tremendous offense. Part of the reason why the game was closer in the first half because the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, did not look like himself. I actually thought, Ralph, he might have been hurt in the first half. He looked much better the second half, reacting better, getting rid of the ball. But
Yeah,
Ralph,
a little
what
bit.
was your take on the game itself and how the Jets did?
Well, Taylor, yeah, he is a little better. Um, I, I, their offensive line, their pass blocking was lousy. I don't think he had like a clean pocket the whole game. Uh, so he was running for his life most of the time, and there were times he has pretty good what they call escapability for a 37-year-old guy. Like you said, he's got a noodle arm. He always has. That's why he's always been just a journeyman quarterback.
And he gets
Uh,
hurt a lot.
he gets hurt a lot because he runs a lot. He's not a big guy. Um, but the way I look at the rest of the season, it's kind of like a tryout for certain players. I want to see like the two new wide receivers, Mechie and Mitchell. I want to see what we have in them. We got six more games. I think we have something in Mechie. I'm not sure about Mitchell because he had that horrific game against New England. But I will wait and see with him. It looks like
Just
yeah.
Ralph, I just want the fans to know. because we picked him up for Michael Carter in a trade, and I guess we switched sixth or seventh round draft picks. But
From Mechie, yeah.
yeah, a little bit. First of all, I always speak to Lenny Kay, who's a big Giant fan. We happen to think that Howie Roseman is like the best GM in football, and that I would never trade with him. With that said, keep in mind, John Mechie came out of Alabama. I think his last year he had 96 receptions, and then he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he would have been a first round
He would
pick.
have been a first round pick. He was a second round pick, and
Mm.
I guess he was on Houston. Now, keep
Yeah.
in mind, I guess his rookie season, he had cancer,
He had leukemia, yeah. So
leukemia.
he's been a mess physically, yeah.
Right. So it was whatever it is. And with the Jets wide receiver room, it was definitely taking a shot on a guy like this. Maybe he gets his feet on the ground.
Mm.
He looked good. He ran some good patterns. He had that touchdown reception. He had, let me
He's
just,
quick. He's quick. Um,
yeah, he had six receptions for 65 yards, TD. So maybe we have something with him, and maybe our wide receiver room isn't as bad as we thought. But I so far I like what I see with him. And I'll say this, a couple of things, observations. We'll get into it more. Even though he led the team in tackling, I mean, Jamie Sherwood missed that blitz. He had a clean shot on Lamar Jackson. It drives me crazy when they go high, and it's just nuts. He had like 13 tackles.
did he have that many? Yeah, he's that was his numbers are always deceptive.
It is, and it was one of those games, Ralph, where it came down to like two or three awful plays by the Jets, a couple of them on third downs, two of which were pass interference calls. And one other play was as the Jets were driving, Brees Hall fumbles. And, I love Brees, and I don't want, not that I'm like letting him off the hook, but he was fighting, if you look, for every inch at the end. And Ralph, you had spoken about this years ago. I remember you told me one time it doesn't pay at a certain point to fight for every inch. You should just go down
Yeah, I mean
because,
he was holding on with two hands too, but he was just standing there. He's a dead duck.
yeah,
The
go ahead, Ralph.
yeah the and the other play, which I'm probably going to disagree with you a little on, Marty, was the 4th and 2. You didn't want to go for it. I thought I had no problem going for it. I just thought, you got to go over center on that play because there's still a threat of the run. You do a play action, a little something out in the flat. To do a shotgun, he wasn't getting a clean pocket at all. He was getting destroyed. So I thought it was a terrible call. I can live with a 4th and 2 because the team is terrible. Go for it. I would have gone for 4th and 5 or 6, but 4th and 2, there's still a run threat. So I know you don't agree with that, but
Just because we just gave up a field goal. It was like a
yeah,
gimme field goal. And they just turned it around. And at that point, Ralph, I thought our defense was not playing bad.
no, it was playing quite well
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
And look, again, we don't bet, but man, what a prop bet I was thinking about, like on the first drive, if the Ravens going to score or score a touchdown, that would have been a great bet to make. I
Mm.
just knew they were going to go down there, and Lamar Jackson looked like a different player. I thought in the first half they did a great job on Derrick Henry. I thought Zay Flowers killed him on a couple of plays. He dropped the pass, but all in all, I thought they did okay. Again, look, it was 23-10. The Jets were actually leading at halftime, 7-3, but they got outscored in the third quarter, like 14-0. And the Jets, we say it over and over and over again, this team is not made up to come from behind. They just don't have the personnel. They really don't. Um,
Well, they did against Cincinnati.
yeah, well, that's Cincinnati. But I happen to agree with you. With all the talk about the Jets' offensive line, I really don't think they did a really good job today, especially in the second half. And then they started getting penalties,
Yeah.
Ralph.
I'm because these games don't mean anything. I'm watching those our two bookend tackles a lot, and I have to say, Olu is he's mildly disappointing this year. He isn't a disaster, but he had a horrible game early in the year, but he just doesn't seem anything special right now. Hopefully next year he'll take the big step. Membu struggles at times. He's still a rookie, so I'm gonna wait on him. But it's important that these two guys become really solid football players. I mean, they have spent a lot to get these guys, and those are such crucial positions. I'm talking moving forward, certainly after this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it goes to the talk which we touched upon last podcast about should they re-sign uh, Elijah Vera Tucker, AVT.
Hmm.
And I think we all agree that if it's a some sort of contract,
Something minimum with a lot of incentive.
a lot
Yeah,
of incentives, but Ralph, I got a feeling you're going to have a team like
yeah.
Kansas City or Baltimore is going to come in
They'll
with
step up. Yeah,
they'll step
so
up with like a 3-year deal,
yeah.
like $35 million.
It just takes one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have to decide about Brees Hall. I go back and forth with him. It's a pretty tough call. Quincy Williams is playing on his option. He happens to be my favorite player on the team, and I'd get him back because he's going to give you an. He's a he's got a motor, that guy, and so I'm willing to pay him before I pay Brees Hall. I like Brees Hall, but running backs, and he fumbles a lot. Brees Hall.
Well, what I would do is I would sign Quincy Williams and I would tag Brees Hall. Now, I don't know if I would do a franchise tag. I might do I think they call it a transition tag.
Yeah, you'll have to ask Ray. He's our
Yeah, where I think they'd be, depending on the money, they'd be guaranteed a certain draft pick. And I think I read that it would cost them like about $14 million for 1 year. Now
uh-uh.
they're gonna have a lot of room on the cap.
Yeah,
So
14 million. I don't know if I want to spend that
which
much
is
on
good.
a
Hey
running
Ray, how
back.
you doing?
Ray.
Welcome. Ray, quick question for you, and then we'll get your overall reaction for the game. We're basically just talking generally, but I want to ask you because we're talking about Brees Hall, whether to bring him back, and also Quincy Williams. And I said I think I would bring back Quincy Williams, um, either a 3 or 4 year contract where you're only obligated for the first, if it's a 3 year, 2 years, and if it's a 4 year, 3 years. And I would put Brees Hall, I would tag him. Now, I think there are two tags, franchise and transition tag. Is that right, Ray?
Um, I'm not sure how the transition tag works, but I know how the regular franchise tag works, and so I don't know if they'd be willing to pay that, but
I think it would be about
it might be worth it for
14
one.
million for 1 year.
I was going to say it might be worth it for 1 year to franchise them. I'm not sure how the transition tag works. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore
Marty's checking up on it as we speak here.
as we speak.
Yeah. So, Ray, why don't you give us a your assessment of the game with the Jets, Tyrod Taylor, first half versus second half, and overall. Go ahead, Ray. The floor is yours.
Uh, well, as far as the game goes, at least it was a good competitive game for the most part. We played really well in the first half, and I think other than a few uh, couple of bad penalties and a couple of bad decisions on the coach's part, I think that cost us pretty much every time in the second half. But as far as, I mean, look, I want to see us to win, but I don't think it's a good idea if we do. So I don't mind that kind of a loss because in the end we need to, stay as high up there as we can with our draft picks. But Tyrod, I mean, I thought, he was about what I expected. I thought he'd be a little better on the deep passes than he was. I know he doesn't got a strong arm, but every deep throw was out of bounds pretty much.
Right.
So, if he'd have put it in bounds, it may have actually
It's a
been,
safe play.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Now,
I thought
now,
I thought a couple times he ran and took the wrong. wrong route when he took off running finally. But for the most part, I think he played a pretty decent game. At least the offense was moving and things were at least, looked, kind of like a professional offense at times, which was something different.
Two questions, Ray, that we touched on. I want your opinion. I didn't like the going for it on 4th and 2. Ralph liked it. He didn't like the call.
Mhm.
What was your opinion about that play and that call?
And mad that they went for it. I mean, I didn't think that was the best move, but like Ralph said, it was more the call than the choice of going for it that I didn't like. I thought it was a lousy call, but he had a few calls in the second half that I didn't really care for a whole lot. That I thought he just sometimes he seemed too vanilla. Other times uh, I like Brees, how Brees is running, but you don't have to run it up the middle every time. As a matter of fact, Brees showed when you get it in the ball out in space a
Space.
little
Yeah.
bit, boy, he can make things happen. When you're running it up the middle, he's limited on what moves he can make that'll work. And so um, Engstrom isn't always the worst, but he has either some learning to do or growing to do. I just want to, I want to see him get a little more consistent and more, I won't say even creative, just be smart about it. You don't have to, run it up a few times I just yelled out, here comes a run up the middle. And, it was, it was pretty obvious what he liked to do. But, he wasn't terrible. I mean, I just want to see Brees out in space. I liked our receivers today for the most part. I thought they made plays. Um, but bad, we only got killed by like 3 plays. One was going for it on 4th down, and the other were two pass interference calls that
Right,
led to.
right.
So,
And the
Ralph,
fumble.
yeah, fumble.
and well, yeah, and the fumble was bad. Yeah.
Ralph is concerned, probably more concerned with me about today. He didn't think the offensive line was all that good at all, and there wasn't really a clean pocket. And he's a little concerned about Olu Fashanu, the way he's been playing. What's your take on that in the offensive line?
Well, as far as pass protection, yeah, I don't think our offensive line is
Yeah, that's what I was really
great.
mainly
Yeah.
referring to.
Running, they've been good all year
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
run. And even today they were pretty good at times, but still I think running up the middle is just asking for short gains. And uh but yeah, our pass protection is was struggling. Not just not just Olu, but some of the others too, a little bit. A little
Yeah.
holding too much, trying to keep guys back. But all in all, I thought it was at least a more competitive performance by them, and that probably had a lot to do with Justin not being the quarterback. I think he runs better than uh, Tyrod at this point in his career, but Tyrod makes smarter plays, getting the
Right,
ball out and down the field a little bit. So,
right. Yeah, Ray, just a quick thing. It wouldn't have any bearing on the game, but there was a play where I guess they hit Tyrod Taylor on the sidelines out of bounds, and there was a flag down, and we thought they were going to have a call. There was also same play a call on the Jets for holding. Did you think that was a roughing, personal foul call?
I thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't think it was a horrendous roughing, but he spun him around and then kind of threw him down,
He was
and the
way
flag
out.
came.
He was like,
Yeah, way out of bounds at that point. That's why I thought he was going to get
yeah.
it. And the
Yeah,
flag came in,
Yeah.
and that
right.
guy couldn't have been the one who called the holding because he was way back there. So the holding was called at the other end. Why weren't they offsetting? I didn't under. Did they ever say why the other flag was
I,
just
No,
clear?
I said that there's probably somebody had a prop bet somewhere
Yeah.
that
right.
Over under on something. And yeah, I don't know. That one caught us all off guard. We
Yeah,
thought for sure it was roughing.
Ralph. I'm just curious. Did Will McDonald play today?
he was in there a lot. I
Yeah.
watched him. He has had a weird year. He has, I believe, around 7 sacks, two in the first game, four in the was it the Cincinnati game or the Cleveland
Yeah.
game? And
Yeah.
then
I
the
Right.
rest of the year it's been crickets for him. I don't really don't know what to think about him. Jermaine Johnson, he's another guy we have to decide about, and I'd like to keep him.
I would
Yeah.
too.
He's a
Even games like we were getting no rush from the edges, but even games that he's not great rushing the quarterback, he's really good on the run, and I like
he
what
also gives a good push pretty
He
much
does. I was gonna
right.
say,
on
yeah.
every
He
pass down.
he may
He's
not
just
be
he's a good football player, and
yeah.
we need players like that.
Yeah.
So I guess they have to make a decision on
I,
him.
yeah,
I,
go ahead. I just wanted to sorry to interrupt, Rob. I said this very quietly that Darren Muji, I think he's doing pretty good for the Jets. Brownlee is hot and cold. If he doesn't have a penalty, he's pretty good.
yeah.
But I thought these two guys, Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs, they're not bad.
Briggs was good.
They're,
Well, Phillips is not a surprise. We knew that he could play. Briggs was just a sixth round cast off from a year ago,
right.
and he is a pretty good football player. So yeah, you were talking about Howie Roseman before, and you think what the I don't know if you're implying why did he get rid of Mechie? There must be
Yeah.
something wrong with him.
I know they have a big room, a wide
Yeah, they
receiver
probably have
room.
a big room. Plus, the other thing is, even though if Howie Roseman is, let's say he is the best GM in the league, he still makes mistakes. Don't forget, he signed Bryce Huff to a big
He
contract, so
did.
he's not perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. I just want to mention very quickly the NFL, they have two tags. They have the transition tag and the franchise tag. A team can only use one of the tags.
Per year.
Yeah. Now we know what the franchise tag is. They have
Yeah,
to match, I guess, the top average of, but
right.
the transition tag, it says a cheaper, less restrictive alternative to the franchise tag. It gives the original team the right of first refusal. They can match any offer from another team to keep the player, but no draft compensation. So whatever that is, I don't understand why you do a transition tag though. I really don't understand why you do that. If you don't
Well, say take the case of AVT. Maybe the Jets offer him the minimum, and some other team offers a little more, not a lot.
Yeah.
right,
And maybe they'll match it. I don't know.
right. Okay, then that makes sense too. Okay.
I
Um,
think teams are smarter about it too nowadays. I think teams will be like, if you do a transition, they'll make it something they're pretty sure you won't match. So they'll either make it really high or they'll make it more than 1 year,
right.
maybe 2 or 3 years where where they know you don't want to do that.
Well, I know, but I
Then do
guess
that.
do they want to do it though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The way it's going, Ralph, any thoughts about what direction we should go in with the draft next year? Must we take a quarterback with our first pick?
Um,
I know we all change, and we'll probably change 10 more times.
well, yeah, I think part of it is where we end up drafting and how these quarterbacks, mainly Mendoza and Ty Simpson, are ranked. Are they like mid first round picks, or are they going to be 1, 2? So that's the other thing. I want to, we were talking about our quarterbacks. Just a hypothetical. Let's say the Jets do draft one of those guys. What do you do with Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor next year? Do you keep them both? Do you get rid of Fields or do you get rid of Taylor?
I get rid of Fields because I would eat the money. I just don't feel he could play quarterback in the NFL. I'm praying the rest of the way that Taylor doesn't get hurt. I can't watch any more plays with Justin Fields in there. I
No,
just
I
can't.
agree with you. I'd get rid of Fields too. Hopefully that they paid the majority of it in this first year, and the next year they're not on the hook for that much. But yeah, I would do the same thing. I'd rather have him watch Taylor play quarterback than Justin Fields. That's
Right.
not a good role model.
How about you, Ray? What are your thoughts about that?
I had to pick between the two. I'd rather keep Taylor around. Yeah. I mean, I like Justin, but he's not doing it. I mean, there's no way around it. I don't think that's going to change. Not with our team anyway. maybe if he got somewhere with a different scheme and a different coach, who knows? I doubt it. But um, besides, I'd still, at some point, I want to see him give Brady Cook a shot and see what he can do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so do
I
I.
don't,
It, it,
what's the sense in sitting there if you don't know what he's got? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
definitely. They'll have plenty of chance for that this year.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
so. I'm dying to see this guy play, and I was actually hoping.
I wouldn't say dying, Marty. You're going to get disappointed.
I know. That's what I heard. But
Maybe,
I was
Maybe not.
hoping
yeah.
that they would have activated all three quarterbacks,
Mm,
but they don't want to waste a roster spot on
yeah.
that. Yeah. So okay. Just quickly, it was nothing after the first quarter. 7-3 Jets going into halftime. They scored a touchdown. Nice, I guess you call it a crossing pattern to John Mechie, who hit the pylon, which was good. Uh, the Ravens, they get the ball back first, go right down the field, and they end up scoring two touchdowns. They're ahead 17-7, and then they score two field goals. We score one. The final score 23-10. Just a couple of stats. I don't want to bore you. Tyrod Taylor, 17 for 28, 222 yards passing. Unbelievable, Ralph. We got over 100 yards.
220 yards. Wow.
220. Yeah, it's amazing.
Christ.
Well, I mean, he had the
Oh, the
Brees
Brees
Hall
Hall.
screen,
Brees
Right,
Hall
the Brees
screen.
Hall. I
Yeah,
and
forgot
that
that was a pass
touchdown
play.
pass
Yeah,
was
yeah.
20 some yards or 30 yards. So, yeah,
yeah. Brees Hall rushing 16 for 44. Tyrod Taylor 5 for
Oh,
19.
good.
Arian Smith 1 for 8. Isaiah Davis 4 for 7. He didn't look good at all. Receiving
ran
Brees.
him up the middle times.
Yeah. Brees Hall 4 for 75. He had that horrible fumble. John Mechie 6 for 65. A.D. Mitchell 2 for 42. If you had a choice, Ray, if you had to pick one or the other on the roster next year, Mechie or Mitchell, who would you keep?
Because Mitchell looked bad that first game, but he's looked okay since. But Mechie, or does he go Mechie or Michi? I've heard it
Mechie,
both.
yeah.
Mechie,
Mechie.
okay. Well, uh, I don't know. I'd like to say that I would go with Mitchell, but it's just such a small.
I, Ralph, I want your opinion. My opinion is I like Mechie. I think Mitchell might have a higher ceiling, but also a deeper floor.
Yeah, that's exactly my feeling.
Yeah.
Real deep floor. Yeah, I think Mechie's much more polished at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully it'll come to that. By the way, talking about receivers, I know we're in love with this with the Ohio State receivers, and there's a receiver from Arizona State that's good, but I don't know if you guys saw this guy. He's only like 5'11 from USC, Lemon, this
I
receiver.
haven't, I haven't seen any of them.
You got us, this guy. He's like Tyreek Hill. The guy's unbelievable. You got it, Ralph. Have you seen him play?
No,
Wait till you see this guy play. He's phenomenal. He's moving up. He'll be a first round pick. You watch. Phenomenal
Is he
athlete.
coming out this year or next year?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but he's just unbelievable. He's getting better and better. All right. Brees Hall, blah, blah, blah. Let's see.
yeah, he already did Brees Hall.
Okay, Mechie, Mason Taylor, Ralph Sky 3 for 21. I wish I could see that guy in space. Andrew Beck 1 for 10. Allen,
He's a waste, that guy. They've gotten nothing out of him. And I've watched him
That-
block a few times and he got blown up. I don't know why I've had it with fullbacks. We've had so many over the years and they're useless as far as I'm concerned.
talk about blocking. I was focusing on one play, Jeremy Ruckert. The guy on the Ravens went right around him like he
Mm.
was a tackling dumb. I never saw anything like it. It was the only play I really focused on him. So I don't know if he's not a good blocker. I just picked a bad play, but hopefully he does better.
Well, he used to have the reputation of that was his strength blocking, but he's pretty invisible.
Yeah, Alan Lazard, 1 for 9. Tackles, just a few. Jamie Sherwood, 13. Quincy Williams, 6. Tony Adams, Ralph's bubble wrap guy, 6. Harrison Phillips, 6. Now, Harrison
Tony, yeah,
Phillips,
yeah,
6 tackles.
yeah. For a guy like that,
For a
yeah,
guy in his
that's yeah.
position, that's darn good. And I want to tell you, the first half,
And he's been
Ray,
hurt
what was
too.
your feeling about the job they did against Derrick Henry in the first half?
Derrick Henry didn't do anything pretty much all game except score two really short touchdown runs. But I mean, I think last I saw he had like 14 carries for like 26 yards or something. I mean, we had him bottled up for the
He
most
had
part.
21 for 64, but you're right. He had literally did very
He broke off a big runner or so at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, not
right,
huge, but up until mid fourth quarter, he didn't do a whole lot. And
right.
they even kept, I liked how they kind of kept Lamar Jackson under control.
He did.
He didn't kill us with his feet, and we
Right.
pressured him a lot.
yeah.
As a matter of fact,
Well,
would have
when
had,
he's not running well, he's a pretty mediocre quarterback.
Yeah,
well, and
he
that's
had
the
some
one where I wanted to kill Sherwood because the one drive they had, we probably would have stopped them. The one drive they had that they scored, I think it was the second touchdown. Sherwood went through, had him, and tried to tackle him too high, like he tackles everybody. He shook him off, and then next thing you know,
Yeah.
the drive is still
Marty
going.
already went bananas over that before he
I
Oh,
got
spoke
here.
before you came on. Drives me crazy.
he tackles
They,
everybody high, and I'm like,
they
you
used to
aren't that
do that.
strong.
They used to do that to Tom Brady. He used to duck. I used to drive
Yeah,
me crazy. All these opposition teams, it was crazy.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Brownlee had 5 tackles. I thought he was pretty good. Javon Briggs 5. Brandon Stevens. He's hot and cold. That guy. He'll make a real good play, but then he'll get burnt. He had 4 tackles. Jermaine Johnson 4. Ralph Isaiah Oliver. I don't know what to make of this guy.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those guys too. Make a nice play and make a dumb play. I don't know. That's probably why he is who he is. But he's not a young guy, so I don't think we really, he's not part of the future of this team.
Right. And what was your guys' opinion? I had some high hopes for him, but I'm not sure. He's a rookie, 23, AZ Thomas. Go ahead, Ralph.
It seems like every game he has a play where it's a penalty or he gets burned. He is a rookie. I'm not sure about him yet. I think we have to wait and see on him. I think the one that he did get called on was kind of a ticky-tack call. I think they're because he's a rookie. I think they go after him a little bit. I mean, I certainly prefer him to some of the other guys in their backfield. The Tony Adams, he was like acting like he didn't do anything. That was the most ridiculous holding penalty. I mean, he just pulled him down basically.
Right, right. Ray, any opinion on AZ Thomas?
No, not. I mean, I don't see enough of him yet to say he's horrible or going to be great. I think he could develop. I mean, he isn't like Rouse says, he'll make a good play sometimes, and so he's got some potential. But I haven't seen enough of any of these guys in the backfield other than Adams that I know I don't want back. But the others make plays. They get burned a little bit, but most of them are pretty young.
Right. Ray, I want to ask you, and then Ralph, I want you to follow up too. The Jets are 2-9. Is there any silver lining where you see that they're playing hard and we're seeing things in every game? There's some positive things we're seeing, and maybe Aaron Glenn is a rookie coach and he's making a ton of rookie mistakes. So I guess it's a two-part question. Are you seeing some good things in this horrible season, and do you still think Aaron Glenn could become a good coach?
Who you ask me?
Yeah, your name's Ray, right?
Yeah, sometimes. It's been some other things at times too.
I'm kidding.
Uh,
Go ahead, Ray.
uh,
By the way, Ralph, Ray just had a wonderful week. His two of his closest friends came in from Winnick, from Idaho.
one's from Idaho, we all used to work together in LA. So one moved up to Idaho and one's still in LA. So
Yeah. Ralph, I think they went to every pub in Ohio and Northern Kentucky during the week.
right. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say everyone, but we
I
hit
know.
a few.
So go ahead, Ray. What's your take
But
on Silver lining in Aaron
I
Glenn.
think, well, like today, I thought you saw a really good performance for the most part out of the team that I didn't expect. I mean, they played really well on defense. There are times when I think, they show some growth. And yeah, I still think Aaron can become a good coach. I think he's learning too, and I think he's got to make some changes himself. But I'd be surprised if this same staff is next year's staff, at least as far as on the defensive side. I'm wondering, but and the players, yeah, we've got some. They've got to make some tough decisions, and if they do some good drafting, I think there's a lot of potential for this team to show a lot of improvement next year. The coaches, they're all, other than Wilkes, they're all pretty young at what position they're in. So if you give up on, we can't just keep giving up on guys after
Right.
a year. We gotta see if they can do anything. Now,
Yes.
Wilkes to me is a different story.
Right.
That's one that I can understand if they want to change him, but I'd be surprised if they make many other changes for next year.
What about you, Ralph? Are there any
Well,
silver
it's a
linings
good,
in these
it's a good
losses?
question. It's a good question. I think what I'm looking for, I mean, in the opening game against Pittsburgh, everyone was pleasantly surprised, and after that, they looked just horrible week after week. Um, I would say the New England game wasn't horrible. Um, and then you had the two wins. This game was tolerable too. I see maybe them looking a little more professional than they did early in the year. Not, it's incremental. It's not a huge leap, but feel like slightly going in the right direction. I think he's going to be a good coach. I'm still not sure either way. I agree with you. The defense, there's going to be changes. I think Engstrand's going to stay, and I think most of the offensive guys are going to stay. And it's going to be as much on Muji in the next couple of years as Aaron Glenn. See how things go in the draft, because that's where the future lies with this team, is the next two drafts, actually.
Right. And one of the positives is our special teams and our special teams coach.
Your punter, man, he's the best player on the team. He's
He's the
he's
best
terrific.
player.
Wow.
Austin McNamara, he's doing it every week. And look, even Baltimore's Jordan Stout, he's pretty good too. He had that
He had a great game. Yeah, yeah.
74-yard punt. But even our return guys, I mean,
They're nice.
the
Yeah,
announcers even made a point that they're kicking away from Keeney, and the Isaiah Williams is no slouch. I
right.
mean,
Oh,
he's
they
pretty
do.
good.
No.
So
No, they've sprinkled some personnel, between Williams, Mechie, Briggs. He's picked up a few players, Wonga, whatever his name is.
yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, the jury's out obviously on Muji too, but not a bad first year, I would say. The choice of Justin Fields, we thought that it was the best
we
option,
did, we
and we
did.
were wrong, obviously. Uh, Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones wasn't going to stay in New York. That was not going to happen.
Right,
And Darnold was not going to come back to New York. So,
right. It was
but
the best. It was the best
yeah, it
option.
was a shot. It
We
was a
thought it was
shot.
an upside, but
But
it's
in
we
in
see now why Tomlin benched him after 6 games.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
probably watching film and saying, "I see these receivers are open, and he's not,
yeah.
and he runs well, but he's not looking. He's not
Yeah,
fast."
I got to kick Ray. I was looking at the odds for the Heisman, and they got your guy Julian saying like near the top now. I mean, his numbers are incredible, but they haven't
Who have
played
they
anybody
played?
this year. They
I
haven't
was
played
just saying,
anybody.
who
And
have
and
they played?
all I think of is Justin Fields 2 years at Ohio State, where his numbers were just like that.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
forget it. This guy's got to show me in some high leverage games.
I do
That's the
think
thing.
he's a good quarterback. I'm just
Yeah,
not sure he's that good at this point. But he shows, he's definitely not going to be a Justin Fields in the pros as far as not seeing guys and not getting rid of the ball. That's not going to be his problem if he doesn't make it in the pros. He's got all the tools and he can make all the throws. But, like you said, I haven't seen him under a whole lot of pressure. He's
he's
throwing to
not going
guys
to
who are
come
pretty
out.
much
He's
open.
young though. He's not
Well, he
coming
can't
out.
come out
Yeah,
yet. He's got
yeah,
another he's
yeah.
got another year, and
Or
so
two
does
maybe.
Jeremiah Smith, and
Yeah.
so does. But I still, I would still love to get somebody across from Garrett Wilson. If they can snag Carnell Tate, I'd be thrilled. Because he goes and gets the ball. That guy
Yeah.
catches
Well,
everything.
I guess the question is, I mean, they have two first rounders next year, right? And
Yeah,
two
yeah,
second rounders. Well,
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah,
so out of those four, they'll pick a wide receiver, even if it's in the second round. I have no problem
as long
with
as they
that.
don't put a bunch of picks together to move up to get some quarterback from some other
Yeah,
team,
that's
or
true.
that's the scary part for me is, just don't be the dumb Jets who trade away all your picks all the time. What's it? Trader Mike Tannenbaum used to. We'd be lucky if we had four picks every year.
Well, the funny thing is when they traded up for Sanchez, they really got away with not giving up a whole lot. They gave up
Yeah,
their late first round pick and then like a third and a fourth. It was like Mangini did him a favor. It was kind of
yeah.
strange.
Yeah, which is interesting. All right, I think we're going to start to close it out. Anything else we have to
Uh,
discuss? Go ahead,
One
Ray.
thing I just wondered about your guys' opinion. Maybe you talked about it, but the one you said why he went for it on fourth down, at the one that on the one time, and we didn't make that would have been, if I'm not mistaken, like a 59-yard field goal for Folk. And I
It
thought
would-
if they
I-
were going to do something, I'd have rather gone for the field goal than tried for it on fourth down. If that's the series I'm thinking of, I just thought
I think they were on their own side of the field in their 40s, I think.
I
I
think
don't
it would have been, I think
there
six.
was one when we were over there,
Oh, is
they
there
might have
another
made
one?
it actually, in the one I'm thinking
One,
about.
yeah, the one you're talking about they made, it was in
They
the
did
other
make it.
team's territory. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Because at the time I was like, why aren't we trying a field goal? But yeah, I think that you're right. That's the one they made the fourth down.
I mean, look, everyone's going for more fourth downs now, and
Yeah.
certainly Aaron Glenn is because, there's nothing really to lose. Um, I don't have a problem with that. I just would like to see
Yeah.
a little better calls sometimes on
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nothing more irritating than saying, okay, we're going to go for it. And then they do something vanilla or
Right.
something. So,
Yeah. And I think I only once, I know we brought this up, but I still think a moving pocket once in a while is a good option for both these quarterbacks, Fields and Taylor. And I don't understand why they don't do it. I just
Especially the way that pocket collapses so quickly on this team. Yeah, I know.
you
It's
would think that a running a quarterback's able to run. I wouldn't say he's a running quarterback, Taylor, anymore, but he can. So moving him out to me would be make a lot of sense.
to
Just
me
keep
with
it going.
Fields, it's a no-brainer because
right.
not only do you do that, when you roll out, he only has to look at half the field
Correct.
because
Yeah.
he just
Yeah,
can't
But
process it
I
all.
don't
but
think they did
Ralph,
that once.
but I got to tell you, I know I said it, I'll say it again. I was watching this Connor Rogers did a great evaluation on SNY and Justin Fields, he's seeing the field, but he's not seeing anyone. It's unbelievable. And it's just, he's going through on certain plays. He had three guys open and he takes off to run. And it's just, he can't play quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, we always had the same complaints about Zach. Guys were flashing right in front of his eyes, and he wasn't pulling the trigger.
Zach's problem was he was looking at the wrong end of the field when he was
Yeah,
running around.
it's what they say. Every level you go up, the game gets faster and less guys can process it. And those two guys who were from the
Yep.
same year, and they just don't think fast enough on the field.
Yeah. All right. We're going to close this out. Anything else to report? Anything on our guy for the Islanders? I guess
Matthew Schaefer,
Matthew Schaefer. He's got, oh, I'm on it now. He's got 7 goals, 8 assists right now. As
Last
he's,
I saw, he had an overtime winner
he
a
did.
couple
He
yeah.
did.
No,
games ago.
he's great, and
Yeah.
he's revitalized that team.
He
It's
has.
amazing. An 18-year-old is like he's made all these other guys feel like I got to start hustling now because he's making us look bad.
Yeah, he is. But anyway, we're going to close this out as the Jets lose to the Ravens 23-10. And there were a couple of bright spots, but it wasn't. I don't know. I get a
I
sour
think the
taste.
brightest spot was the game was incredibly fast
It
for an
was
NFL
fast,
game.
right? And next week we host the Atlanta Falcons,
Ooh,
so we'll get to view Kirk Cousins, who might be the Jets starter next year for a year. You never
what do
know.
you? Isn't Penix still playing?
He's out for the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
He
he's
had
out.
surgery on, was his knee?
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
out for the
yeah.
year. Quarterbacks, man, they come and go like you wouldn't believe.
Well, but the thing with Penix was, that was the one knock on him. He had so many
He had
injuries like
injuries
early in
in
his
college.
career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tons of injuries. All right, for Ray, how was the showing at the bar today around Columbus, Ohio?
Good. Better than I expected. I think there was probably about somewhere between 12 and 15 people, which
Good. Well,
sitting were
you
two
mean
and eight.
hundred? You mean hundred, right?
Yeah, hundreds of people.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good crowd.
Most
All
of them are
right.
tuning in from remote.
And actually, next week they host the Atlanta Falcons, like I said. So, all right. So for Ray Clifford in Marysville, Ohio, Ralph Schrager in Belmont, Mass, and yours truly, Marty Schupak in Valley Cottage, New York. Until next time.